this is a little bit different positioning. I feel like absolute trash. So I actually didn't go to clinic yesterday because I did not feel good. You remember that like weakness that I have been having that I thought was from keto? So I still get that sometimes, and I've been having like heart palpitations and kind of some other symptoms, and I wasn't feeling good on, today's Thursday, Tuesday. Well, so let me backtrack. Monday, I had a full shift at Big 5, and I started getting that like weakness, like where I get like lightheaded and like shaky feeling. And so I left a little bit early. And then Tuesday I had clinic and I didn't really feel that great still. And so my CI said like to let her know. And so Wednesday morning, yesterday morning, I went to the doctor and like she did some tests and evaluations on me. She thinks that my thyroid is mildly enlarged. She checked my heart and found like abnormal heart sounds. So they did an EKG on me and found abnormal stuff on my EKG. And then they wanted to do more tests on me today. So I had to go back this morning to get some blood drawn just for them to do other tests. And then I didn't want to like miss too many like clinic hours because I have to make up any time that I miss. So I told my CI like what they had found yesterday, and so she's like, okay, like if you just want to do like a half day, like when you're done with your appointment this morning, like just let me know. And I'm like, okay. So I got my blood drawn this morning, and then I went to clinic, and that was probably a bad idea. My head is killing me. I've been trying to drink like so much water, and like I had like maybe half of my lunch because I just wasn't like that hungry. I get really bad headaches. It makes me nauseous too. So like I was like trying not to throw up. We had 2 patients not added to our schedule, but we took 2 patients from one of the other PTs and whatever, and one of them was a gentleman I've never worked with before, and like I would work with him for like a really long time because like I kept having to repeat myself, and he kept asking me questions that I didn't know the answer to, and so it like took forever. And then I just was like not feeling good, and I still had to do my notes, and so I finished my notes, and then my CI was like, oh, okay, do you want to go over your notes or do you want to just go home? And I was like, I just want to go home. Like, I do not feel good at all. And then one of the OTs was like, oh, like this setting gets better, I promise, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it doesn't have anything to do with the setting right now. Like, I just feel like absolute trash. So I've got this little ice pack in here, seeing if that helps, and I don't know what else to do, just laying here. But yep, that's the update. It's week 4, by the way, Thursday of week 4. Yep, I guess I'll okay, so with all my stuff, the doctor referred me to a cardiologist. I got a call from them today to schedule an appointment. I have an ultrasound appointment for my thyroid on Tuesday, and like my mom's side of my family has a history of thyroid problems, so it's a high possibility that I have thyroid problems. Those are the 2 most likely things she said. She threw out some other things like I'm possibly have PCOS, it could be IBS, like who knows. So hopefully once we get the lab results back with my blood test, then I'll have some more answers. So because it's kind of been stuff that I've been dealing with for a while, but kind of just pushed it aside because I didn't think that it was like that important, and I never really have time to go to the doctor because of my schedule. So, but my CI was like, you need to take care of yourself first before you can take care of anybody else. And I was like, okay, we'll see what happens. But that's it for now. Okay, this is a different angle because this sun is like coming down so fierce. I like did not realize, because if it's like here, it's like wow. So turning this way a little bit, hopefully that's better for you. Update on clinic and my health because I just had my checkup appointment at my doctor's office for my lab results for my blood work, and basically, like, I feel like most Americans, I have a lot of like inflammation, she said. So my thyroid is normal, which is good despite having like family history of thyroid problems. My thyroid hormone is normal and everything, so we're good there. But I am still vitamin D deficient. I'm also B12 deficient. My LDL levels are really high, and some other stuff. So basically she gave me a bunch of like vitamins to take for the next like 3 months to try and get my levels to be where they should be. And then of course, as a health professional, I know that like diet and exercise is good for you. Do I follow it? Not as well as I should, obviously. But she did suggest like going on to some kind of like paleo diet or something to reduce like my saturated fat, which I basically did the opposite because I was on keto, which is like a high fat diet, and I think that's where like a lot of my problems started. So I think like keto was not the right diet for me. Some people are able to do it, but I definitely could not. So we're gonna try like more, she suggested like a paleo diet, which I don't know too much about, so we're gonna have to do some research on it. And then like I don't have a formal exercise routine right now because the work, you know, as a student being at this skilled nursing facility, it does take a lot of like physical work, like having to get patients up and, you know, doing exercises with people. And a lot of times like I will add like manual resistance to some of my like lower extremity exercises that I do with people because they can't tolerate like using like, you know, a weight. Or sometimes I'll do bands, but some people can't do the bands, so like I'll add manual resistance. So like I consider it like a not taxing, but like it is a, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like, I don't just sit at a desk all day. Like it is like an active job. So I don't have like a formal exercise. Like I don't go to the gym and do weights currently just because my like, you know, job is very active. But I have been wanting to go back to the gym. I am wearing like a workout outfit. This shirt I love. It says fueled by sunshine, even though I'm vitamin D deficient. Anyway, ignore that. But yeah, so I do want to go back and like have like a routine, hoping that like I only have, this is the start of week 6 of my clinical. I will get into my clinical, I promise. But so I've only got, you know, including this week, I still have like 5 weeks left. We're getting there, but I did want to wait until like I knew for sure like when I can take my board exam and things like that, because I want to start having like a formal routine for studying for the MPTE. Because right now I kind of like, I listen to the podcast that I've mentioned before, and I usually study like once a week with some friends. But my buddy that I was just studying with, she just took her comps exam, so she's taking the rest of April off. Because they don't start clinicals until May. So once she's in clinicals, then we'll start like revamping and going back into studying. But she won't take like the test until October. So
it'll be a little bit different, but I do want to do a more like formal like study plan. So I'm hoping that I can try to maybe like study like after I get off at clinic, go to the gym, and then like go home for like dinner and have like a more formal plan. Because right now, like when I get off work, I just like am on Instagram or something or watch YouTube. Sometimes I take a nap on the couch just because like I just get tired when I start laying down. But if I keep moving and like doing stuff, I'll stay awake. So I think I just have to like do something right after. Like I can never go home and like chill before doing anything because then I won't do it. So I have to go like straight to studying or straight to the gym, like no breaks in between. So we'll see how that goes. So that's kind of where we're at on the health wise. Sorry if this clip is so shaky, like the sun and my arms are getting tired. And anyway, so about clinic, so today I had my like own schedule. So previously, like we've been having my CI, like, you know, because I still treat her patients, but like she prints like a copy of her schedule and then she highlights which patients I'm treating, but she's still like in charge of like documenting the time and everything, because we like keep track of everything. So starting this week, because I told her in our last little weekly overview thing that like I pretty much like don't really go with her to treat her patients. There's maybe like one or two that'll go like and help her because they're like higher assist, but for the most part like I pretty much just treat my patients and she treats her patients. So I was like, I might as well just get my own schedule anyway, so that way like I'm in charge of keeping track of my start time and my end time, and like, you know, we have to put our schedule like in a binder to like keep track and everything. So we started that today. She tried it once like my second week and I was like, no, I'm not ready for that, like I can't do that. So we went back to like her just printing like double schedule. I finally like feel more confident. Like even today she was like, how do you feel like today went? I was like, actually I feel like it went really well. Like my time management was really good. I mean, I had one eval and 4 treats, and all of my treats were patients that I'm familiar with, which, you know, is always nice. That was, you know, good to keep my like confidence up. I made a couple mistakes on my eval. Like I didn't get like a baseline like measurement for her vitals before I did like a manual muscle test. And so my CI was like, you need to make sure that you get that before you do anything, especially with this patient because she was on supplemental oxygen. So like that was like a big thing because like I was thinking, oh, manual muscle test like isn't, you know, that's strenuous, but for some patients it can be. And like when you're evaluating someone, like you don't know like how much work that's gonna be. So I was like, okay, that makes total sense. So that was like the biggest like mistake that I made. Everything else was fine because she's pretty high functioning. It's pretty much just the oxygen. And then my other patients did really well. A couple of them were like long-term patients. You need a little bit more assist, so like my arms were getting so tired. So that's probably a reason why I need to go to the gym and build up some strength, but here we are. I did want to try to do yoga because I thought that that would be good for like endurance, because like yoga you have to like hold positions for a long period of time and things like that. So I've been wanting to try to do yoga for like a while now. I just haven't found the motivation to do it yet. So, you know, I'm going to do better. But so far as clinic goes, things are, you know, going well. Did I cry last week? I would have made I think that one of my clips was from last week, because I know when I like didn't feel well, I don't know what day that was. Anyway, sorry, this video, if you watched my first clinical one, which I will be uploading like right now, so it's currently it's April April 18th. So if you notice the dates, yeah, that will go up like hopefully today. My app that I do all of this stuff on has not been very nice about saving my videos. So that's why I had to end up doing it in 3 parts, because it literally would not save like the second and third part when it was one video. Like I had to separate them. So I most likely am gonna have to do the same thing with this video. So this might be part 2 just because of the length of these. So sorry about that. But hopefully you're enjoying, and that's gonna be my update. It's getting hot because my car's not on and the air is off. So I'm gonna go inside. Okay, bye. Well, I didn't cry today, but I wiped my first butt. So my CI says that I am officially a member of the sniff now. So yeah. And the person's butt that I had to wipe was a repeat patient. We eval'd her my first week here and discharged her, and then she came back. And she possibly has C. diff. So the first butt that I had to wipe was a possible C. diff patient. So I am gonna go and take a deep shower. And yeah, so there's that. So anyway, besides that today, my CI is the like assistant director of rehab, the ADOR, and the DOR is out on some conference or something. My CI is like acting director, and there was like this skilled fair that was going on today, so I pretty much was by myself like all day today, which was fine. Like I've been treating patients on my own for like 2 weeks now. It is the start of week 7. I have no idea, just like my first video, if you watched about my first clinical, I haven't even attempted to edit this one, so I don't know how many sections I will end up making. This might be a great start to a new section. Anyway, I had 6 patients, including an eval, on my schedule this week. I actually did the eval with one of the OTs, but my CI wasn't there because she was doing the fair, and actually went pretty well. The OT said that I did really great, so that was good. And then, yeah, my other treats. Today was a wild day. I have another like cardiopulm patient because my CI was like, it's good for me to have like different like types of like diagnoses. So I have this cardiopulm patient. She's on supplemental oxygen, so I have to monitor her oxygen levels a lot, like while we're doing things. And she's been doing like really great. She started out on 5 liters at the hospital, then she was on 3 liters here. They had her down at 2 last week, but this woman has not been wearing her oxygen. Like Friday and then twice today when I went into her room, she wasn't wearing her oxygen, and every time I checked her oxygen it was low, like very low. And then the second time when I went in today, she was like whining and shaking and didn't have her oxygen on, and I checked her and she was at like 74%, and like you're supposed to be like above 90. People with COPD can be in like the high 80s, like 88, 89, but like 70s are no, like not good. So like I had to walkie my CI and be like, hey, like you need to come help me. So she was like, good job on that, because like I was like, this is not normal, like this should not be happening. I was monitoring her O2 with the pulse ox and timing it, and it went up to the 80s but wouldn't go past like 86, so it was still like low. And then she was having like all kinds of like nonsense speech and tremors and things, so like I was freaking out. I kept my cool though, but like on the inside I was freaking out. And then we got a nurse, they checked her blood sugar, which was high as well, and yeah, we just like monitored her, and yeah, so like that was a wild time. And then my C. diff lady And then what else crazy freaking crap happened today? I think those were like the two like big things. One little old man that has dementia, he's so sweet, walked over like 600 feet without needing a rest break. It was amazing. So he is supposed to discharge on Thursday, I think. So that's really exciting. He's like he's the sweetest, cute little old man. But yeah, so crazy times, but I'm handling it. You gotta do what you gotta do. Like, so here we are. I'm in it. Deep. 4 weeks left, including this week. And then we're done. Thank God. So that's the update on the sniff. What a time. Okay. Goodbye now.
Hello everyone. So I'm sitting out in my patio because I did not want to make a clip at my car because I just got home and it's 6:30. I left the clinic at like 6, give or take. That's the longest I have been there, like, so far. Today was like a literal shit show. Like, I barely even remember what happened this morning because it was such like a disaster. Like, normally we do like our initial evals first. So like patients that were admitted the night before, then we have to like evaluate them the next day for like occupational therapy, physical therapy, and we have a speech language therapist as well. Normally we try to get those done first in the morning. And today I had 2 because normally I've only been having 1 eval, but I had 2 because it was a husband and wife couple that were in the same room. So we're like, oh, that'll make it like easier because we can go in because it'll be the same, like, should be the same like living information and things like that. Yeah, that did not go as planned. We'll get to that in a second. When I was chart reviewing for those evals, my CI went to go do one of her evals in the COVID unit. And normally her evals like are pretty short because like, she's more experienced and like knows what she's doing. But she was like over there forever. And so like the occupational therapist wanted to go because she had both of my evals as well. So we wanted to go in together because it's a lot easier so that you don't have to get like the same information twice. And especially like with patients that are like lower level, like, it's just easier to just do it all at one time. So we wanted to go together, but like I don't feel comfortable doing evals without my CI there. So like I wanted to wait for her. The occupational therapist went to go treat one of hers. And so then I was like, finished my chart review, and then I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, should I just go see one of my treatments, or like I wasn't sure what to do. So then and then there was a patient that came into the gym that was on my CI schedule, and so they wanted to walk with her, so we're waiting for that. And so I was like, okay, so when are we gonna do these evals? So finally, like, she came back to the gym and she's like, okay, I'm gonna like walk with her, like if you want to go try one of your treatments. So I was like, okay. So I went to go try my like cardiopulmonary patient. I think I mentioned her before because I'm like trying to like monitor her oxygen levels and things like that. I went to go see her and she was like too tired, didn't want to do it, told me to come back in the afternoon. I was like, okay. So then that didn't work. So then I was like, now what do I do? And so then we were gonna go to the eval, but then one of my treatments was with occupational therapy, and they came back and said like they originally weren't gonna do anything with her because she has like this huge like wound because she had like surgery, like shoulder surgery. They broke her elbow during surgery. She had like a massive like hematoma. It was like a whole thing. Her like wound is bleeding and it's not good, and she's non-weight bearing on that arm. You weren't able to do anything with her yesterday, and I eval'd her on Wednesday, I think, but then they were like, oh, she needs to go to the bathroom, so like if you want to come in and like help with the transfer and like get some gait in. And I was like, okay, like I might as well do that. Also, sorry if you hear my dog in the background. She loves being on the patio.
Do you want to say hi to YouTube, Gary? Oh, you're so cute. Yeah. She likes to, let's see if we can see it, stick her head through these little holes that we have. Yeah, I'm talking about you.
Anyway, so then I went over to her room to like help her like transfer and whatnot, but she's supposed to be in a sling, and her sling was in laundry because it had blood all over it. So then somebody had to like support her arm. So like the OT was supporting her arm while I like walked with her like to the bathroom and then back, and then we ended up doing like a few like sit to stands to like work on her like transition, like because we were using a quad base cane because she's normally bearing on the other arm, so it's a little bit more stable than having no assistive device. So just working on like transitioning from the bed and then like to use the cane. So we were to get a little bit of treatment time in, which was nice. And then we went over to the evals, so the wife was a primary caretaker of the husband who had a stroke like 8 years ago, and he's still got some like weakness on the left and like not able to like do much. He was in a power wheelchair, things like that, based off of like the hospital records. And then she suffered a stroke and went to the hospital, and so that's why they were there. So we went in there, and the wife was the one that was like she wasn't nonverbal. She could communicate a little bit. She does have some like difficulty speaking and swallowing, so it's dysarthria, dysphagia. She's like completely like hemiparetic on the left side, no movement. She has like hemi inattention. She is unaware of her left side completely. Like whenever I tried to ask her commands to do on that side, she would do it on the right side. Like she wouldn't look over to the left, like nothing. And we were getting pretty much most of the information from the husband, who ended up being a lot higher level. Like he was able to get out of the bed. He needed some assistance to stand with a cane. And then he only walked like a couple feet though, because he didn't want to listen to like our safety stuff. But he was like honestly a lot higher level than like we were expecting, because like I thought he was like bed bound, like wheelchair bound, like, you know, everything, and she was doing everything for him. But it seemed like he let her do everything for him and he didn't like try to do it for himself. That's what we kind of figured. And now that she literally cannot help him whatsoever, so that was like really difficult. But it was interesting to see like a stroke so like acutely, because I like haven't really. So I had a patient yesterday that also had a stroke, but theirs was like, strokes are so complicated because it depends on like what part of the brain it affects, which like will determine what part of the body it affects, and like things like that. So I had my guy from yesterday, I treated him today as well, and he has like a little bit of like right-sided weakness, but like he's able to like move his leg. Like we walked, he did stairs today, he did 20 stairs today, like up and down. It was awesome. Like he's doing like amazing, and he's literally only been here for like 2 days. So it was just crazy seeing like the difference between those two people. Like one being like this lady from today was like total dependent, like I think she helped a little bit with like transfer or something. I can't remember what I put her at. She helped a little bit, I think, with the sit to stand, trying to push with the right arm. But yeah, it was wild. And then like I got super behind on my notes because I was trying to write those 2 evals, but I hadn't written like evals for somebody that like was like so low level as her. And then for the husband, he pretty much was at the level that he was at home. Like at home, like she did everything for him. And then he was like, could walk short distances, like maybe like up to like 30 feet, I think. I was like, I don't know what to put for his goals, because are we trying to like surpass those, like to get him more independent since he no longer has like his caregiver basically. And yeah, so I like wasn't sure what to do about that. And then with her, like I was putting her goals as like much lower level goals. So like most people, obviously we want them to be independent, to go home, blah blah blah. And with someone like her, I'm like, I don't know if we're gonna get there. So I was really struggling writing up those evals. So then like I still had to like do my treatment. So like I had a treatment come in at like 10:30, 10:40, and he takes like an hour. So like I treated him, and we didn't get done until 11 like 50 something. And so then that was lunchtime. So then I had lunchtime, and then I still had 3 treatments to do after lunch. So I had to do those, and then I had all of my notes to do, which like normally I try to like intersperse them, like do a couple treats and then do my notes and then lunch and then same thing. And to top it all off, if you hadn't already noticed, I literally sound like a dying frog. It's probably not that bad. I think it sounds worse than it is. I guess I'll determine when I watch this video back how bad it is. But like I have like a horrible sore throat. I literally had like a cough attack at one of the ends of my treatment sessions. I felt so bad because I was like literally like just coughing, and he was so nice. He was like, I have plenty of unopened water bottles, like is there anything I can like get you? I was like, I'm fine, as I'm like choking and dying. So that was awful. It also happened to me yesterday or 2 days ago when I was treating somebody. I started having a cough attack, and they offered the same thing. They're like, if you get a cup, I can give you some of my water. And I'm like, that's okay. But yeah, so I've had this awful cough. It's not COVID, for any of you that are wondering, because I literally get COVID tested. I normally get it twice a week, but I think I got it 3 times a week because I was trying to get back to a normal schedule, because I normally do Wednesday, Friday, but last week or 2 weeks ago I missed Wednesday, so then I had to do it Friday, Monday, and then I got all messed up. So I think I got tested Monday, Wednesday, Friday this week, and it's all negative. So in case anybody still cares about that, my CI and I were literally the last people in the treatment gym. Like everybody went home, and like I was like, I'm so sorry, like blah blah blah, and like she kept apologizing. I was like, no, this is like, you know, still trying to work on my time management and like things like that. But she's like, you had a harder day. Like I think my caseload is up to like, what did she say, 60-70% of the caseload, which is within my levels. This clinical is supposed to be 50 to 75, so I'm like doing good there. So she was like, it was a long day, like you had a lot of people, those evals were not easy. Like she's like, I thought that we were going to like save time doing them together, and we did not save time. We were in there for so long. Just like a freaking crapshoot, and I didn't feel good. I was supposed to work tonight, but I called them and I was like, I literally can't. Like I feel like absolute crap. I'm coughing, like I just no. And then like I would have been like, it would have been worthless for me to go, because I would have gotten home at like 6:30, still had to like change and get ready. I probably wouldn't have left my house until like 7, maybe 7:15, get there at like 7:30. Yeah, we close at 8:30. So that would have been like pointless. Sorry guys if any of my coworkers watch this, because I know that we don't have like any people, and I was trying so hard to like just push through, and I literally could not do it. So
What? What do you want? You needy little girl. You are scratching me.
I need to get her like bathed and groomed and her nails trimmed really bad. But I was so busy this week, I forgot to email the groomer people. So I'm sorry. Anyway, also, in case you're wondering, this sweater is from DBT Stuff. If any of you follow her on Instagram, you should. If you don't, because she's awesome. She's got really good like tips, tricks, posts about literally anything PT. She's an acute care PT, but she's got all kinds of stuff for like clinicals, students. She's doing a whole like new grad series right now with like salary negotiation, interviews, things like that, which I signed up for because I'm like, yeah, I need all of that. So yeah, that's what that's from. This is my third sweater from her because I love them. Anyway, this was a lot longer clip than I expected it to be, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's the end of week 7, so 8, 9, 10 left to go. I cannot freaking wait. Okay, bye.